In the aftermath of our beloved Maize and Blues disappointing 27-17 loss to the Penn State Nittany Lions this past Saturday, I wanted to shoot a short video discussing the current pickle that our program is in regarding the coaching staff and just in general. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Well, I'm back with a short video here just to discuss the pickle and the uncertainty surrounding the Michigan football program. But before I get into that, as you can see, I decided to do something different. I have this nice tripod here that I invested in over the summertime, and I decided that, hey, I can shoot videos in my place without sitting down. I can actually, I can actually stand up sometimes. So I'm going with something different here. The last several offerings on this channel have been the live streams before and after games. I realized that some people aren't used to watching those. Those tend to go longer, and you know, on Fridays people are working, and then after the games on the weekends, maybe people don't want to sit down for a 2-hour long discussion, though some of you enjoy those. But I wanted to get back and do a few more pre-records, and there's definitely a lot to talk about now regarding the program. So if you're new here, please subscribe. Those are free. I think I'm sitting at $4.52 right now. If you want to make a donation to the channel, I'm going to leave my Cash App and PayPal in the description box below. And with that, let's jump in. So as you can see, I have my Jim Harbaugh bobblehead here. This is going to be worth some money someday. And as I told you all, I have a Bo Schembechler bobblehead at my office at work, but we can't go into the office right now. So I just have Jimmy. But as I was making the trip back to here in the DMV from Western New York, I was thinking about what I would call this video, and the title that came to mind was, you know, when Jimmy came home. And you know, the program is in this firestorm right now. Shout out to you, Abdul Gaines, and everyone else who wants to burn the program down and put Jimmy's head on the guillotine. But we're in this maelstrom right now. And I really thought back to 2015 when Jimmy came home and when Jimmy got hired in relief of Brady Hoke. And I just got to thinking about how much optimism and how much hope there was during that time, and how much magic there was during that time. You know, I'm a writer and also a bit of a historian, so you know, that the past matters. And I thought about 3 quotes that Jim regularly said during that time. And the first one, at the end of that inaugural press conference, was, "Who's got it better than us?" I remember after he gave his speech and he talked about everything, I remember he bellowed that out, and I had to go back and and listened to it a couple of times to see what he said, but that was one of Jimmy's signature quotes and sayings, and who's got it better than us? The other one was, and he had a bunch of those, we're going to approach every day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Another one was, we want to get 1% better tomorrow than we were today, or something equivalent to that. We want to be better tomorrow than we were today. So that's to say, every day we want to build and build and build and build. I remember that initial summer, that summer of 2015, he stated that we're going to go into submarine mode. I remember after the Blake O'Neill Michigan State punt debacle, I remember him taking a real leadership position and saying, we're gonna put steel in our spines. We're gonna sharpen our spines. And just in general, early on in his tenure, there was a fiery, optimistic Jim Harbaugh that you kind of wanted to get behind, and you wanted to run through walls for. And I've stated numerous times on my broadcasts that Jim has gone somewhere. Now there's a tired, older Jim, and we're in a different place now. And so I'm going to talk about that, in upcoming videos. That's worthy of its own video, especially if Jim decides to walk away within the next couple of weeks. But now I kind of want to get into, what we're talking about now and the hard decisions that Warde Manuel and Jimmy himself have to make. Yeah, so when Jimmy came back, when Jimmy came home, that was a magical time. That was a magical time. I remember Abdul Gaines, in our text group, he texted out a picture of one half of it was maize and blue, the other half was scarlet and gray. Obviously, the maize and blue half had Jimmy there yelling like this, and then the scarlet and gray side had Urban Meyer just kind of with this stoic, look. And so you thought that at that time we were on the brink of the rebirth of Bo versus Woody. Of course, we know now that turned out differently for a number of reasons, which I'll get into in subsequent videos. But it was just a magical time. There were things going on in my personal life at that time as well, but that was a magical time with Jimmy coming home. But now there are two main decisions that Warde Manuel has to decide, and also which Jimmy has to decide, assuming that he doesn't get the boot. Some people want to see him fired, and as opposed to both sides parting willingly. But the decision is for Warde Manuel is to fire Jimmy or to keep Jimmy and let Jimmy walk away on his own, or to let Jimmy salvage this thing. And both decisions come with consequences. The main one, one of them, the main one regarding firing Jimmy is, who are you going to get to come into Ann Arbor to salvage this thing and right the ship? Obviously, you have to give Jimmy a buyout if you were to fire him now, and then you have to pay the new coach and the new coach's staff, and you have to reboot the whole thing and pray that many of the recruits that Jimmy was bringing, like J.J. McCarthy, will still come. Otherwise, you're starting from the bottom once again. And then in terms of keeping Jimmy, and I'm coming down, so I'm a pragmatist. My style is fair and balanced. I'm not an over emotional guy like that other half of the Michigan fan base. But if you bring Jim back, and if you let him finish out his contract, and even if you extend his contract so that he can stay longer, I think that one of the things we've uncovered here on my channel, in my discussions with Alex, and even before Alex started coming on my live streams, is the game planning and the player development. So I've been, in my content, even before I started live streaming, I've asked questions about the abilities of Jim and his staff to, number one, game plan for the bigger opponents. I'm thinking about those Ohio State games. I've been asking questions about the game planning going into the games, and then the in-game adjustments. I'm thinking about the 2018 Revenge Tour team. I thought that we had the talent that year to beat Ohio State, but I thought the coaching staff mismanaged the team on both sides of the ball. And then the other thing that's come up is the player development, which we've talked about ad nauseum here on Big Discussions 76 Sports. Who has been Jim and Don Brown and the other coaches, who has been their signature player or players to go on to the NFL? Alex asked the question, what position group is the Michigan program known for? And of the top recruits that the Michigan program has brought in under Jimmy's watch, how many of them have developed into top 10 picks? I'm thinking right now about Abdul Gaines' favorite defensive end, Rashawn Gary, who a lot of people feel like underperformed when he was in Ann Arbor and didn't live up to the hype. And also, based upon Jim's pedigree and the position Jim played at Michigan and in the NFL, how many stellar quarterbacks have been produced under Jimmy's watch? You know, we know that he's brought in the grad transfers, but we haven't really seen one of Jimmy's recruits take a stranglehold on the program and lead it back to the promised land. And again, that's been part of that has been Jimmy's decision to bring in those grad transfers. But it's certainly noteworthy that he was thought to be the quarterback whisperer, and he played the position himself at the highest levels, and yet he hasn't developed a top tier quarterback to lead the Michigan football program into the playoff for contention for the national title, and he hasn't produced a quarterback to go, a top quarterback to go into the NFL draft. So those are two things to think about regarding keeping him. The game planning, the game preparation, the in-game adjustments, and the player development once they get here. He's gotten good players, but the development is certainly a big question mark. And then something Alex has brought out in my live streams is the recruiting cycle. A major part of a college football head coach's job is recruiting the talent. And in 2020, when the players see you getting beat by your rival over and over and over again, and when they don't see players developing, and when your program doesn't have a position group that they're known for, will consecutive classes of the top recruits want to come? That's another question mark. So those are things to think about in terms of Jimmy staying. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. When you think back to when Jimmy came home, it's a very different thing that we're in right now versus what I thought many people hoped it would turn into versus what it actually turned out to be. Interestingly, certainly Jimmy has made a lot of enemies out there. Paul Finebaum, I don't know what happened with him and Paul Finebaum, but Paul Finebaum is one of his harshest critics. I saw an article from Paul Finebaum on my cell phone this morning. I'll probably leave that in the description box below. I think Urban Meyer has been fair. Joel Klatt has been fair. and they've all weighed in on the program and what's happened this season. There have been guys like that Valenti guy, what's it, Mike Valenti or Chris Valenti? I don't like listening to him, but he's been critical of Jimmy all along. And then, of course, you have the fans, half of which, and our fan base, want him gone. I call that the Tiki Torch crowd. Shout out to you, Abdul Gaines, and others in that bunch. But he certainly had his critics all along. And I think that, the question is, for either decision that's made, are we as a fan base prepared to endure what is going to come after that? There's uncertainty in either direction. So there will be more videos on this going forward, depending upon what's decided and what happens going forward. We have Maryland coming up. Based upon what's happening down in Columbus, it's uncertain if we will actually play the Buckeyes and if our team will go down there next week. And honestly, if the game gets called off, that might actually be a good thing for Jimmy, for the players, and for all of us in the Michigan football fan base. So I just wanted to say those things. That's all I've got. I think that, again, everyone, has been an unusual year with the virus and only the 8 games. And on my live streams, we've talked about this. There were the off-season work is less than it has been, and there was attrition from a lot of key players in our program. I'm thinking about Nico Collins and players like Ambry Thomas, and it's just been an unusual year. In a regular year, there would have been the non-league schedule, those 4 to 5 games playing against non-league opponents to tune things up. This year, they jumped right in. You had a stripped down roster, unconditioned players who hadn't had the time to gel together and grow together. So it's just been an unusual year, and I think everyone should keep that in mind as well. And the last thing I want to say is, if Jim stays, I'm an optimist and I'm a pragmatist, but oftentimes after a brutal year in the Michigan football program, and this was under Lloyd Carr as well, of course we've never had a season like this, at least not since I've been alive and since I've been following the program. But oftentimes after a brutal year, teams with talent respond to have a strong year. So I don't know if the Michigan football program necessarily would, and I don't know that Jimmy's critics necessarily want to hear that. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Once again, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Go Blue, and as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.